right, welcome back, everyone. It's been a while. Yeah, I've been really busy with work, and to be honest, I didn't really have much inspiration to continue the Hague Zoo at the moment. So, what do you do when you don't have inspiration? You start a new zoo, right? So that's where we are now. This is the Leiden Zoo. I'm not so sure about the name yet, but yeah, that's not important at the moment. So I think this is one of the most detailed areas I've ever built in Planet Zoo. So I'm really excited to show you guys. Um, so it's a repurposed area as well. So the building you see in front of you was the old primate house of the zoo, a very traditional style building. So with rows of cages on either sides, and then a path in the middle for the visitors. But yeah, it has been completely torn down from the inside, and now it is repurposed to be the area that is called Wild Sulawesi. So it's all about species that inhabit the island of Sulawesi in Southeast Asia. So let's check it out. So I really like how the front of the building has turned out. I'm really happy with all the statues that are on the front of the building, and really, yeah, it's a really cool vibe that it gives off. So let's go check the insides. So here we have two statues and plaques of two inhabitants of the old primate house that were very famous. And as you can see, it is now a completely different building, and it's very lush and tropical. So the first enclosure on the right is for a pair of knobbed hornbills. It's my favorite species of hornbills. They're so beautiful with all their different colors, and I'm really happy that we have a pair in the zoo. And then on the ground there lives a trio of Forsten's tortoises, which are also from the island of Sulawesi. And I think it's finally moving. So in the right corner here, there is a nest box for the knobbed hornbills because they seal themselves in, or the female seals herself in during incubation and rearing. So we have to facilitate for that. And then underneath there, you can see the red glow. That is for the tortoises, so that's where their UV and infrared light is located as well. So if we go to the left hand, here is one of the two on-show indoor enclosures for the Sulawesi crested macaques and the babirussa as well. And then if we continue, here is the second indoor on-show enclosure as well. I'm really happy with how these climbing structures have turned out. It was a pain in the ass to get it right, but I'm really happy with how it looks. And then here is the entrance for the keepers, so they can enter both enclosures from here. And then there's also two sliding doors, one for the macaques and one for the babirussa, so they can be operated separately, so the species can be managed separately as well. So on this side we have two terraria. One is for the Sulawesi water skink, and then the other one is for a Asian tree frog. I'm not sure about the species yet, so if you have any suggestions, let me know. And on the other side, there is a small terrarium for the peleng stick insect. Oh, look, they're actually using it. So that's really great. They're not using it too much, but I'm really glad that they use it sometimes because it's really cool to see them utilizing it. All right. So let's go to the right, and then we'll circle back to the beginning of the building, and then we'll start our loop of the outside enclosures on the right side. Uh, so here's the outer enclosure for the hornbills, and the tortoises can also go outside if they want to. All right. So we'll walk past the entrance of the building again. As you can see, there's much more to show, but that's not finished yet, unfortunately. But hopefully it will be sooner than later. So here is the entrance to the outdoor area. As you can see, it's very lush and green. I really like how this whole bamboo forest is has turned out. Please hurry up. Um, so here is the first outdoor enclosure. It's one of three on-show outdoor enclosures for the macaques and the babirussa, and then there's a fourth outdoor enclosure, but that's off-show that I can show you in a minute. So all three enclosures are the same size, but their interior is slightly different. Yeah, in all of them, although they are very similar in how they look. So here is the entrance to these outdoor enclosures for the keepers. And then they can also operate the sliding doors here if necessary between the enclosures. So this is the second outdoor enclosure. As you can see, slightly different layout, but still has the same vibe to it. So let's quickly have a peek backstage. So this is the fourth enclosure, which is off-show, and it's just nice to have that flexibility to separate animals if needed. There's quite a big group of macaques in here, um, so it's nice to have that option to separate animals if needed. And then yeah, babirussas also have to be separated sometimes, especially the males. So it's nice to have that option here as well. One of the females in this enclosure. And then here are the off-show indoor enclosures as well. So two smaller indoor areas and then one that is slightly bigger. For some reason, they really enjoy spending time in here. Probably they have a little bit more privacy or something. I don't know. Um, and then all enclosures have a higher up entrance for the macaques and a lower one for the babirussas, so we can separate. Or yeah, we can make sure that babirussas can't get to all the enclosures or vice versa. And then here are all the handles for to operate all the sliding doors for the whole indoor area as well. There are four more here. So yeah, it's handy if they're all labeled correctly because there is a lot of handles. Alright, let's go back to the main path and see what else is here. So on the left here, there's one of three enclosures. You can see them here in the back for the lowland anoas. So there's one male and two females. and it can all be separated as well. So there are three big outdoor enclosures because they only get together during the breeding season or during the mating season actually, and that's why they come together. But the rest of the time, rest of the year, they live separately. And then there's also some babirussas in here, so that's a second breeding group for them. Um, can't see them actually now, but I really like using the mud areas here, the puddles. And here is the last enclosure for the macaques and the babirussa. So as you can see, slightly different layouts, but still the same size as well. So I try to mix up the viewing areas for the visitors. So some of them are glass, other ones are covered viewing areas, and this is a viewing area with these natural poles. There's one of the anoa. Very cool. Let's quickly go to this viewing area so we can have a better look at them. And there's Babirusa as well. Great timing, guys. Yeah, so this is the larger of the three enclosures. And then there is a third one here as well. So again, it's very nice to have that flexibility. I try to be as realistic as possible. So have those separation areas. And yeah, to have it as functional as it can be. So I was really yeah, contemplating if I wanted to add this species from Sulawesi. It's a very famous bird from the island. It's called a Maleo. But yeah, it's not a very common species in zoos. So I decided for realism, I would like to do something with the Maleo, but I'm not gonna add the species to the area as a living animal. So what I did is I made a little display with two model birds and some eggs. It's a very pretty bird, so visitors can still learn about the Maleo, but they won't see the real bird in this area. And the cool thing about this bird is that they actually dig a hole in some warm sand and lay their eggs in there. So just like a sea turtle, the warm sand will actually incubate the eggs, and then the chicks will dig themselves from that hole of sand, and they will just be on their own for the whole rearing period. So yeah, it's just like a sea turtle actually. So very cool. All right. So here on the left is the indoor area for the babirussa. There is the male. So the anoas can't get to this area because the sliding doors are too small for them. So the babirussas have a space for them for themselves to retreat to if they need to. Um, and then here is also, whoops, the kitchen area for the whole Sulawesi area. So let's check that out real quick. So I was really happy to learn that the barnyard pack will have some hay bales, because this would be a great area for it. I was thinking, I need to check the workshop for hay bales, but I couldn't really find a good example. So when I saw that they would be added to that pack, I was really like, oh, this is great timing, guys. So here is the kitchen area as well. Um, so this services the whole Sulawesi area, so the Yanoas, the macaques, and everything else. All the food will be prepped in here and then dispersed from here as well. All right. So I think this is it. Again, I'm really happy with how the area turned out. It's one of the most realistic builds or detailed builds I've done thus far. So I'm really happy with how it looks. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you will be inspired as well to build something new. And thank you so much for watching. See you next time. Bye bye.